A Rainy Evening with Benjamin Franklin, a 60-minute sleep story. Settle in now and let the evening become quiet around you. There is nothing you need to hurry toward, nothing that must be solved before this story begins, nothing that has to be held tightly in the mind tonight. You can let the body be supported. Let the shoulders soften. Let the breath find its own calm rhythm. And let this story arrive slowly, like rain touching an old window in a quiet room. Tonight, we are traveling into the life of Benjamin Franklin, not through battle, not through loud argument, not through the bright public moments that history often remembers first. We are going to meet the quieter Franklin, the young printer walking through a rainy street, the reader sitting by candlelight, the curious mind noticing ordinary things. The neighbor who helped build libraries, lamps, stoves, and useful habits. The older man looking back over a long life from a warm room while rain falls outside. This is a life story told for rest, so it will move gently. No sharp turns, no urgent lessons. Only scenes from a life softened by rain, lamplight, paper, ink, and time. The first image is Philadelphia on a rainy evening in the 18th century. The streets are made of wet brick and packed earth. The roofs shine dark under low clouds. Water drips from wooden signs and runs softly along the gutters. Candles glow behind small panes of glass. A horse stands under the shelter of a stable roof, its breath faint in the cool air. Somewhere, a bell rings the hour and the sound moves slowly through the rain. You are standing beneath the awning of a modest print shop. The door is closed, but warm light glows around its edges. Inside, a printing press rests after the day's work. Cases of type line the wall. Sheets of paper hang to dry. The air smells of ink, paper, wood, oil, and a little smoke from the stove. An older Franklin is there, not as a statue or a famous portrait, but as a calm presence in a brown coat, spectacles low on his nose, sitting by a table with a candle in a closed book. He looks up as if you have arrived at just the right time. He does not ask you to study. He does not ask you to remember. He only gestures toward a chair near the stove. You sit. The chair is wooden but comfortable. The stove gives steady warmth. Rain taps on the shop window. Franklin pours warm tea into a simple cup. Steam rises and disappears. He says that a life, like a printed page, is made line by line. Not all at once, not perfectly. A line by line. And tonight, you do not need to read the whole page. You can rest in one line at a time. The story begins far from Philadelphia, in Boston, where Benjamin Franklin was born in 1706. Imagine Boston not as a busy harbor in daylight, but as a quiet town near water, softened by evening rain. Wooden houses, narrow lanes, small workshops, the smell of salt air, soap, candles, and hearth smoke. Franklin's father made candles and soap, useful things for ordinary households. In that family, there were many children, many chores, and not much room for idleness. But there was curiosity. Young Benjamin watched. He listened. He wondered. How does a flame burn steadily? How does wax hold light? How does a printed word travel farther than a voice? How does a person learn more than the room they are born in? You can picture him as a boy in a candle shop after the day's work is done. Rain against the shutters, rows of newly made candles cooling on a table, the smell of tallow and smoke, a small flame bending in a draft. The young boy sits near that light with a book. The room is not grand. It is useful, crowded perhaps, ordinary, but a book can make even an ordinary room feel wide. Page by page, the world opens, not loudly, quietly. The way a door opens in the mind, the boy reads whatever he can find. Essays, poems, arguments, stories, books borrowed, books saved for, books read by candlelight when the house is quieter. There is comfort in imagining a young mind learning in a small room while rain falls outside. No fame yet, no public life, only a child, a candle, and the simple pleasure of discovering that words can carry a person beyond the walls. Your own thoughts may soften as you imagine it. No need to chase every idea. Let them be like books on a shelf, available, quiet, waiting. The next scene is a printer's apprenticeship. Benjamin works for his older brother James, who runs a newspaper. The work is not easy. The hours are long. The expectations are strict. But tonight, we look only at the quieter side of it. A print shop after rain, wooden floors darkened near the door, metal type sorted into little compartments, ink rolled carefully, paper stacked under cloth, the press standing like a patient machine in the lamplight. Young Franklin learns how letters become lines, how lines become pages, how pages become something that can cross a town and enter another person's mind. He learns patience from small things. A letter placed backward will print correctly. A page must be set with care. Ink must be neither too thin nor too thick. Paper must be handled without haste. The body can learn from this. Rest is set carefully too. One breath, one softening, one thought placed back in its case, one worry covered for the night. No need to print the whole page now. No need to finish the whole life tonight. Only one quiet line. Young Franklin also wants to write, but he is not yet invited to be taken seriously. So he writes under another name, quietly, secretly, with patience. He slips essays under the print shop door and waits. There's a kind of moonlit courage in that. Not loud, not boastful, only a young person trying to make a voice and finding a way. But even this ambition can be softened for sleep. Imagine the essays as folded pages in a drawer, the ink drying, the candle lowering, the rain outside. The writer asleep before anyone has praised or judged the words. The page can wait. Recognition can wait. Morning can wait. The next scene is a journey. At 17, Franklin leaves Boston. He travels first to New York, then onward to Philadelphia. History often tells this as a bold beginning, and it was. But tonight, we can imagine the quieter feeling of arriving tired in a new city. The road damp from rain, clothes worn from travel. A young man carrying little more than hope, hunger, and a few coins. Philadelphia appears under a soft gray sky, brick buildings, Quaker meeting houses, shops, wharfs, the Delaware River wide and calm beyond the town. Franklin walks into the city with bread in his arms, tired and uncertain, but awake to possibility. There is something tender about a beginning before it knows what it will become. No one looking at the young traveler would see all the years ahead. The printer, the writer, the librarian, the inventor, the diplomats, the elder. All of that is hidden. For now, he is only a young man in a rainy city, looking for work and a place to sleep. You may let that simplicity rest in the mind. Every long life is once only a beginning. Every future is once only a wet street and a small next step. You do not need to know every future step tonight, only this one, rest. Franklin finds work in Philadelphia as a printer. Years pass slowly, not in a rush, not in a single leap. He learns the city, he meets people, he saves money when he can. He reads, he writes, he observes, he returns again and again to ordinary discipline. Imagine his print shop now, his own on a rainy evening. The day's work is finished. The apprentices have gone home. The press is wiped down. The type is sorted. The accounts are closed. The fire is banked. Franklin sits at the table, not in triumph, but in quiet satisfaction. He has made a place through steady work. He has not made it all at once. He has made it by returning. The rain outside repeats this lesson. Drop by drop, line by line, day by day. Nothing peaceful needs to be forced. The next scene is the Junto, Franklin's Club for Mutual Improvement. But we will not make it loud. Imagine instead a small room above a shop on a wet Friday evening. A few chairs, a table, a candle, books and papers, friends gathering with damp coats and thoughtful faces. They speak of books, business, morals, science, public needs, and practical improvements. The room is warm. The conversation is calm. Outside, rain falls on the roof. Idea behind the Junto is simple and kind. People can help one another become more useful, more thoughtful, and more generous. Not by shouting, not by pretending to know everything. By asking questions, by listening, by sharing what they notice. You do not need to join their discussion tonight. Let the voices become a low murmur in another room. Let curiosity itself become restful. Curiosity does not always have to reach. Sometimes it can sit by a candle and listen. The Junto leads in time to the Library Company of Philadelphia, a lending library, a shared collection of books. Imagine the first shelves in a modest room, books arriving in crates, leather covers, paper labels, careful lists. People who could not each own many books could now share many books together. There is something deeply peaceful about a library made by neighbors, not a palace of knowledge. A shared shelter for minds. On a rainy evening, the library room smells of leather paper and damp wool. A few candles burn low. Someone returns a book and signs the ledger. Someone else chooses a volume and wraps it carefully against the rain. The shelves do not ask every book to be read tonight. They hold what is not being used. Let your own mind become a library. Many books, many thoughts, many rooms of memory, but only one candle lit, only one small place of attention. Everything else can stay safely on the shelf. The next scene is Franklin, the printer of Poor Richard's Almanac. Almanacs were practical companions in many households. Weather, calendars, sayings, moon phases, useful advice, and little bits of humor. Imagine a winter rain outside and a family table inside, where one of Franklin's almanacs lies beside a candle. The pages are worn at the corners. Someone has checked the moon. Someone has read a proverb aloud. Someone has tucked a little book onto a shelf. Franklin understood the value of small, useful words, but tonight even sayings and advice can rest. No proverb needs to instruct you. No maxim needs to improve you. No wise sentence needs to be remembered. You can let wisdom sleep too. Wisdom is not only cleverness. Sometimes wisdom is closing the book, lowering the candle, letting the body rest. The next scene is Franklin, the experimenter. He is curious about electricity, light, heat, weather, and the ordinary mysteries of the world. We will not linger on danger or storm. Instead, imagine his room on a rainy night with simple instruments laid out on a table. Glass tubes, string, paper, metal rods, a notebook, a candle, rain at the window. Franklin observes patiently. He wonders how nature works. He tests. He writes. He asks again. But when evening deepens, the instruments too are put away. Curiosity can rest. Questions can rest. Even a mind that loves to understand must sleep. The body may release a little more at that thought. The forehead softens. The eyes rest. The jaw loosens. The shoulders settle. Not every question must be answered tonight. The world will still be mysterious in the morning, and that is all right. Franklin's curiosity also turns toward warmth. He designs a stove that can heat a room more efficiently. Imagine a cold, rainy evening in Philadelphia. A family gathered in a room where the new stove gives steady warmth without wasting so much fuel. The fire is contained. The heat is useful. The room is more comfortable. This kind of invention feels especially suited to a sleep story. Not flashy, not grand, only warmth made better. A problem noticed, a solution shaped, a room made kinder. You may imagine the stove near you now, glowing quietly. It is a symbol of enough warmth, enough protection from damp air, enough comfort for the hands, enough ease for the body to let go. The next scene is the city improved by small acts. Franklin helps organize a fire company, a hospital, better street sweeping, and lamps that burn more cleanly. But tonight, we do not list these as achievements. We imagine the feeling of a town becoming easier to live in, a street better lit on a rainy night, a neighbor safer from fire, a public room where people may learn, a hospital where care is organized, a pathway swept so walking is easier. Improvement in Franklin's quieter form is not always a monument. Sometimes it is a lamp placed where darkness used to be. Sometimes it is a broom. Sometimes it is a bucket. Sometimes it is a shared shelf of books. Let the simplicity be restful. The next scene is Franklin older now, traveling across the ocean. He crosses between America and Europe many times, but we do not need the politics of those journeys tonight. We only need the image of a cabin at sea, rain on the deck above, the ship moving gently, a small lamp swinging from a hook, paper secured in a wooden box, a coat folded at the foot of a narrow berth. Franklin sits with a notebook, writing calmly while the Atlantic breathes around the ship, and the notebook closes. The lamp lowers. The ship continues through the night. Travel can continue while a traveler sleeps. This is a comforting idea. The larger journey of life can continue even when you stop thinking for a while. You do not have to remain awake to keep the ship moving. The next scene is Franklin in London. Years of work, letters, meetings, printing, science, and public life. But tonight, we find him in a quiet rented room on a rainy evening. Books on shelves, papers stacked neatly, a fireplace, a window looking out on wet London streets, a letter from home resting on the table. He has lived long enough now to know that every city has its own rain. Boston rain on harbor roofs, Philadelphia rain on brick streets, London rain on stone and smoke-dark windows, Paris rain on garden paths, rain everywhere doing the same gentle work, softening the day, drawing people indoors, making lamplight more precious. You may let all these cities become one city of rest, not a map, only windows and rain. one warm room after another. Franklin's later life carries him to France, where he becomes beloved for his wit, simplicity, and American plainness. Again, we will keep the scene quiet. Imagine a room outside Paris on a rainy evening, a garden beyond the window, bare branches shining, a writing desk, a cup of chocolate or tea, a fur cap resting on a chair, letters tied with ribbon. Franklin, older and slower now, sits by the window while rain touches the garden paths. He has seen so much. He has written so much. He has argued, invented, traveled, listened, joked, persuaded, and endured. And still, there are evenings when a person is simply a person by a window, tired and warmed by a cup. This is one of the soft truths of biography. A famous life is still made of ordinary evenings. Shoes removed, letters folded, candles lowered, rain heard through glass, a body needing rest. The next scene returns to Philadelphia. Franklin is old now. The public years are behind him. He sits in a comfortable room while rain falls outside. There are books nearby. His spectacles rest on the table. A fire glows. The room is not empty of history, but history is quiet here. It has become papers in drawers, books on shelves, memories softened by time, letters answered or unanswered, friends remembered, work completed as much as any life's work can be completed. The older Franklin opens a drawer and finds an old printed sheet from his youth, perhaps a page from a shop, perhaps a note in his own hand. He smiles at it, then sets it down. How strange and gentle that a life can become something one looks back on by firelight. The boy in Boston, the runaway arriving in Philadelphia, the printer, the reader, the organizer, the experimenter, the traveler, the elder, all one life line by line, page by page, and now, evening by evening, rest by rest. You sit with him in the quiet room. Rain taps the window. The fire settles. The pages on the table do not need to be read. The life does not need to be judged. It can simply be held as a long story that has earned the right to grow quiet. Franklin closes the drawer. He removes his spectacles. He places them beside the candle. He says that a day well ended is a small blessing. Not because everything is perfect, because the hour has come to stop. Now the story turns toward your own rest. The print shop is closed. The letters are sorted. The library shelves are steady. The almanac is on the table. The stove is warm. The instruments are put away. The ship continues without you watching. The letters from distant cities are tied with ribbon. The older Franklin's room is quiet. All of it becomes one scene. A rainy room, a warm stove, a candle, a closed book, a body ready for sleep. Let the feet soften first. They do not need to walk Boston lanes, Philadelphia streets, London stones, or Paris garden paths. The toes release, the soles soften, the ankles loosen, the calves rest, the knees rest, the thighs become heavy, the hips settle into the bed, the lower body is safe. Let the belly soften. Let the lower back widen. Let the chest rise gently. Let the chest fall gently. The breath is as steady as rain at a window. No need to improve it, no need to measure it. It comes, it goes, it returns. Let the shoulders lower. Let the arms grow heavy. Let the hands rest like a printer's tools laid down for the night. Let the fingers be quiet. Let the throat be easy. Let the jaw loosen. Let the eyes rest behind the lids. Let the forehead become smooth. The mind can become a library at closing time. Books shelved, lamps lowered, ledger closed, door latched. Everything kept safely until morning. If a thought appears, let it be a letter in a typecase. It has a place. It does not need to make a sentence. If a worry appears, let it be a page placed beneath the paperweight. It can wait. If a memory appears, let it be a candle reflected in rain, dark glass. It glows for a moment, then softens. If a question appears, let it be one of Franklin's instruments on a table. Interesting, but not needed tonight. Cover it with cloth. Let it rest. And if you're still awake, that is perfectly all right. Rest is already happening. The body is already quieter than before. The mind is already less crowded. The breath is already soft. There is no need to leave the room too soon. The rain outside has many quiet minutes left. The candle has not burned down completely. The fire still holds a little red warmth. And a long life, when told gently, has many soft corners where the mind may rest. Perhaps the first soft corner is the candle shop in Boston again. Not a place of fame, only a working room. Wooden tables, bundles of wicks, cooling candles, soap cut into plain blocks, a floor swept at the end of the day, rain tapping against small panes of glass. Young Benjamin is not doing anything remarkable in this moment. He is watching a flame. That is enough. A child watching a flame can learn many things without naming them. The way light leans in moving air, the way wax softens near heat, the way darkness gathers at the edge of a room, the way a small light makes ordinary objects feel companionable. Let your own attention become that small. One flame, one room, one breath. No need for the whole world. No need for the whole life. Only the warmth of this one image. The next soft corner is a Boston bedroom under the roof. The house is full because the Franklin family is large, yet at night, even a full house becomes quieter. Children sleep, floorboards settle, the sea air moves around the walls, rain ticks lightly on the roof. Somewhere below, the last candle is blown out. Young Benjamin lies awake for a little while, perhaps thinking of something he read, perhaps imagining ships, printing presses, poems, or far cities. Then even those thoughts become soft. There is comfort in imagining that every famous mind was once a child growing sleepy, before the inventions, before the signatures, before the portraits, before the sayings, only a tired child in a bed, listening to rain. Your body understands that older truth. Rest comes before achievement. Sleep comes before the next day of learning. Let the next soft corner be the print shop in Boston. The day is over. The press has stopped. The smell of ink remains. Metal letters sleep in their cases. The paper is stacked flat. The apprentice's hands are tired. Perhaps he has made mistakes. Perhaps he has been corrected. Perhaps he has wanted more freedom than the day allowed. But night does not ask him to solve it all. Night gives a small, plain mercy. Work can stop. The page can wait. The type can be set tomorrow. Let any difficult part of your day be like a page left in the shop. Not thrown away. Not solved. Only left on the table under a clean cloth. The cloth is smooth. The room is closed. The rain watches over it. The next soft corner is the road to Philadelphia. A young traveler does not yet know what his life will become. This is important. So much of life is lived before the shape is visible. Imagine him walking under a gray sky, clothes damp from weather, carrying bread, hungry and tired, but still moving. The road beneath his feet is muddy in places. Trees lean over it. The air smells of rain, leaves, horses, and river. There is no certainty in the scene, only a step, and then another, and then another. If your mind wants certainty tonight, let it rest from needing it. Beginnings often do not feel certain. They feel like wet roads. They feel like small choices. They feel like not knowing and walking anyway. But now, in bed, you do not need to walk. The road can remain in the story. Your feet can remain warm and still. The next soft corner is Franklin's first view of Philadelphia. The city is not yet legendary to him. It is simply a place where he hopes to find work. Wet streets, brick houses, shop signs, quieter customs than Boston, perhaps. A river nearby, people going about their day. He walks through it, tired, carrying bread, observed by a few strangers, but mostly unnoticed. It is good to remember that even lives that become large have many unnoticed beginnings. You do not need to be noticed in order to be real. You do not need to be praised in order to be worthy of rest. The bed does not ask what you accomplished. The night does not ask who saw you. Rest is not a reward for being impressive. It is a human need. The next soft corner is the Philadelphia print shop after Franklin has begun to make a life there. Perhaps it is raining again. Rain is useful in this story because it keeps returning, like a refrain, like breath, like the turning of pages. The shop is warmer now. There is a rhythm to the work. Orders come in. Pages are set, ink is rolled. The press moves. Customers speak at the counter. Then evening closes the shop. One task after another is put away. The form is cleaned. The type is sorted. The floor is swept. The accounts are covered. The door is latched. This is the order of rest, not instant stillness, a closing sequence. Perhaps your own body can close in sequence. Feet first, then legs, then hips, then back, then shoulders, then hands, then face, then thoughts. No need to close all at once. The next soft corner is Franklin's love of improvement, but softened until it becomes only care. History often remembers plans and institutions, but beneath those are small observations. A street is too dark at night. A fire is too dangerous when no one is prepared. Books are too expensive for one person to buy alone. A room loses too much heat. A road is muddy. A city needs better habits. Franklin looks at ordinary inconvenience and wonders how it might become easier for everyone. Tonight, this can be a gentle thought. The world can be made kinder by small useful changes. A lamp cleaned, a shelf shared, a stove improved, a bucket placed where it may be needed, a question asked kindly. You do not need to improve anything tonight, but you may rest in a world where small kindnesses matter. The next soft corner is the library. Let us stay there for a while. The room is quiet in the rain. Shelves stand along the walls. Books rest upright, leaning slightly into one another. A ledger lies on a table. A candle burns low in a brass holder. Someone has returned a book wrapped carefully against the weather. Someone else has left with one tucked under a coat. After they go, the room returns to silence. It smells of leather, paper, wood, and rain-damp wool. A library is a beautiful image for sleep because it does not need to read itself. It only holds. Shelves hold books, books hold pages, pages hold words, words hold thoughts, and silence holds all of them. Let silence hold your thoughts. No need to open each one. No need to check whether they are in the correct order. The shelf is strong enough. The night is quiet enough. The next soft corner is the almanac. Imagine many households on rainy evenings, not just one. A farmer's table, a merchant's desk, a kitchen shelf, a young person's pocket in each place. A small almanac rests. Weather notes, moon phases, calendars, sayings, useful bits of life arranged by month. But tonight, every almanac is closed. The moon may move without being checked. The weather may pass without being predicted. Tomorrow's date may remain tomorrow's date. Close the inner almanac. No need to forecast. No need to schedule. No need to prepare the entire year of the mind. Only this evening. Only this bed. Only this rain. The next soft corner is science by candlelight. Franklin was curious, and curiosity can be lively, but it can also be quiet. Picture a table with simple instruments laid out neatly. Glass, metal, string, paper, a notebook, a candle flame, rain touching the window. The question in the room is not urgent. It is patient. What is lightning? What is electricity? How does heat move? How does air flow? How can a stove warm a room better? Every question can be placed gently on the table. Then at night, every question can be covered. A cloth over the instruments, a closed notebook, a candle lowered. The world is allowed to remain partly unknown. You are allowed to sleep in a mysterious world. The next soft corner is the Franklin stove. Let the story linger there, because warmth is good for sleep. Imagine a room in winter rain. Outside, the street is cold and wet. Inside, the stove glows with a steady, contained fire. The heat reaches the chairs. It reaches the table. It reaches the hands of someone reading. It reaches the feet of someone sitting nearby. It uses less wood. It makes the room kinder. This is such a restful invention because it does not ask to be admired. It simply warms. Let your blanket be a Franklin stove of sorts, quietly practical, doing its work without drama. Warmth around the feet, warmth around the knees, warmth around the hips, warmth around the shoulders. Enough warmth for sleep. The next soft corner is the ocean crossing, a ship cabin at night. Rain above, the Atlantic rolling beneath, a lamp swinging gently. A trunk secured in the corner, papers tied with cord, the narrow berth ready. Franklin has crossed the ocean more than once, but every crossing still requires surrender to a larger motion. The traveler cannot hold the sea still. The traveler cannot pull the far shore closer by thinking. The traveler rests while the ship continues. This is a useful image for the night. You cannot think your way instantly to morning. You do not need to. The body is a ship already underway. Sleep is the sea it knows. Let the ship move. Let the lamp swing. Let the rain fall above the deck. The next soft corner is London rain, a city far from home. Wet stone streets, Smoke-softened lamps, carriage wheels in the distance. A room with papers on a desk. Franklin reads a letter, folds it, and places it beneath another. There are always more letters, more matters, more opinions, more misunderstandings. But even letters must pause. The ink dries, the paper rests. The answer can wait until morning. If there is something you need to answer in your own life, imagine folding it gently. Place it on the desk. Set a smooth stone on top. The rain keeps the window company. The answer can wait. The next soft corner is Paris. Not the public Franklin, admired in salons, only the older man in a quiet garden room after the visitors have gone. Rain on gravel paths, a cup cooling on the table, a cap on the chair, letters tied with ribbon. The garden outside dark and glossy. He is far from where he began. Boston is far away. Philadelphia is far away. The candle shop is far away. The boy reading by flame is far away. And yet, all of it is still present in him, softened by age. Every life carries its earlier rooms. You carry earlier rooms too. But you do not need to visit them all tonight. Let them be houses with candles in distant windows. Warm, far away, safe enough to leave. The next soft corner is Franklin's return home. Older now, slower now, a body that has worked for many years, hands that have printed, written, experimented, gestured, greeted, and held letters from across the sea, eyes that have read in many rooms, a mind that has traveled many roads. Even such a life must come back to a chair, a fire, a window, and rain. There is humility in that, and comfort. All lives, however large, are also small. They are made of meals, sleep, weather, rooms, hands, breath. Tonight we honor the smallness, the softness, the right to rest. Now let these corners become a slow body scan. The candle shop brings warmth to the feet. Let the feet warm. Let the toes loosen. Let the soles soften. The Boston bedroom brings quiet to the legs. Let the ankles release. Let the calves release. Let the knees rest. Let the thighs become heavy. The road to Philadelphia brings permission to stop walking. Let the hips sink. Let the lower body be done traveling. The print shop brings order to the hands. Let the fingers uncurl. Let the palms grow warm. Let the wrists loosen. Let the forearms rest. The library brings space to the chest. Let the ribs widen a little. Let the breath move easily. Let the heart be held by the quiet shelves of the body. The stove brings warmth to the belly. Let the center soften. Let any small tightness melt slowly, not by force, but by steady heat. The ship cabin brings rocking ease to the back. Let the lower back widen. Let the upper back settle. Let the spine rest as if the sea itself is carrying it. The London room brings quiet to the shoulders. Letters folded, answers waiting. No need to hold the world there. Let the shoulders lower. The Paris garden room brings softness to the face. Rain on gravel. Letters tied. Visitors gone. Let the jaw loosen. Let the cheeks soften. Let the eyes rest. The final Philadelphia room brings stillness to the forehead. Spectacles on the table. Drawer closed. Fire low. Let the forehead smooth. Let the mind become quiet. The story may now move without structure. Printer, library, stove, ship, garden, fire, rain, bed. The order does not matter. The images can drift like loose pages in a warm room, never scattered, only lightly moved by air. If a thought appears now, let it be a page. Place it on the table. If another appears, another page. No need to bind them. No need to title them. No need to read them. The table is large enough. The night is gentle enough. The rain is steady enough. The final image of Franklin can be very simple. An old man by a fire, spectacles set aside, a candle low, rain beyond the window, a closed book in his lap, not speaking, not teaching, only resting. History often asks people to stand forever in their most important moments. But sleep stories can let them sit down. Let Franklin sit down. Let the printer rest. Let the inventor rest. Let the traveler rest. Let the elder rest. Let the long life become quiet by the fire. And let yourself rest too. No need to become industrious. No need to become wise. No need to become remembered. Only warm. Only supported. Only ready, or almost ready to sleep. The rain outside keeps the same tempo. It has followed the story from Boston to Philadelphia, across the ocean, into London, into Paris and back again. But perhaps it was always only the rain near your own window. That is the way sleep stories work. They seem to travel far, and then they bring you back to the room you are in. Back to the bed, back to the breath, back to the body, back to the simple fact that rest is allowed. There's nothing more to prove. The page can remain unfinished. The invention can remain on the table. The letter can remain folded. The library can remain closed. The fire can lower itself. The rain can continue. The mind can stop. The body can sleep. There's plenty of night left. The rain does not mind continuing. The room does not mind holding you. The story does not mind becoming slower. So, let it slow again. Imagine the print shop after midnight. No one is there now. The press is covered. The paper is stacked. The ink is sealed. The type is sorted into its cases. Each tiny letter rests in a small square of wood. An A, A, B, A, C. But there's no alphabet to recite, no word to build, no page to make. The letters are only small, dark shapes in a drawer. Your thoughts can be like that, small, separate, resting in their places. No sentence needed, no conclusion needed, no final paragraph needed. The page of the mind can be blank. Blank is peaceful. Blank is ready. Blank is allowed. Imagine the library after midnight. The shelves stand in darkness. The books no longer show their titles. They are only rows of quiet backs. The lending ledger is closed. The key hangs near the door. Rain taps lightly on the shutters. All the knowledge in the room is safe without being awake. This is important. What matters can rest. What matters does not need to be held in active thought every moment. Love can rest. Memory can rest. Purpose can rest. The mind can close its library and still keep everything that belongs there. Imagine the stove after midnight. The fire has settled into coals. The room is not bright, but it is warm. Warmth without brightness is one of the gifts of night. You do not need mental brightness now. Only warmth, the warm weight of the blanket, the warm darkness behind the eyes, the warm trust that the body knows the way. Imagine Franklin's desk after midnight. Letters tied, spectacles folded, paper squared, chair pushed back, a candle nearly out. The desk does not feel abandoned. It feels complete for the evening. Even unfinished work can feel complete for the evening when it has been set down with care. Set down what remains, not forever, only for the night. Set down the plan, set down the worry, set down the question, set down the memory that keeps returning. Place each one on the desks, square the corners, close the drawer, let the candle lower. Imagine the Atlantic cabin after midnight. The ship moves through darkness. Rain washes the deck. The lamp swings almost imperceptibly. The traveler sleeps in the narrow berth. The ocean carries the ship whether he is awake or not. You are allowed to be carried too, by the bed, by the breath, by the night, by the simple biology of rest. You do not need to steer the whole voyage. Imagine the Paris garden after midnight. No visitors, no voices, only wet branches, gravel paths, a dark window, letters tied with ribbon inside. Somewhere in the room a cap lies on a chair. The public world has gone quiet. The private world is enough. This is true for you now. Whatever faces the world sees can rest. Whatever role you carry can rest. The private body under the blanket is enough. The private breath is enough. The private quiet is enough. Imagine the final Philadelphia room after midnight. The older Franklin has gone to bed. The chair by the fire is empty. The spectacles remain on the table. The book is closed. The drawer is closed. The rain is steady. The room holds the memory of a person resting. The story does not need to follow him further. It can stay with the room, the warm room, the low fire, the quiet rain. The closed book. Now let the biography lose its dates. 1 Zane 06 can fade. Boston can fade. Philadelphia can fade. London can fade. Paris can fade. All the years can become a soft stack of pages tied with ribbon. No need to untie them. Let the ribbon stay. Let the pages rest. Let the life be honored by quiet. The body can receive the same quiet. The feet, quiet. The ankles, quiet. The calves, quiet. The knees, quiet. The thighs, quiet. The hips, quiet. The belly, quiet. The chest, quiet. The shoulders, quiet. The arms, quiet. The hands, quiet. The throat, quiet. The face, quiet. The eyes, quiet. The forehead, quiet. All of it quiet. No need to make the quiet perfect. No need to make sleep arrive on command. If there is wakefulness, it can be quiet wakefulness. If there are thoughts, they can be quiet thoughts. If there is restlessness, it can be held in the same room as rest. The room is large enough. The night is patient enough. The rain is soft enough. Think of Franklin's habit of making lists, but let even that become sleepy. Not virtues to practice, not tasks to improve. Only a bedtime list. Fire low. Book closed. Spectacles folded. Rain steady. Body warm. Oh, well. Again. Fire low. Book closed. Spectacles folded. Rain steady. Body warm. All well. The list can shorten. Fire. Book. Rain. Warm. Well. Then shorter. Rain. Warm. Well. Then softer. Warm. Well. Then only warmth. Only the bed. Only the slow drift toward sleep. If a final thought appears, place it in the library. There is a shelf for it. If a final worry appears, place it under a paperweight. There is a desk for it. If a final question appears, Place it beside the covered instruments. There is a table for it. If a final memory appears, let it be a candle behind rain-dark glass. There is a window for it. Everything has a place outside the center of your attention. You may leave the center empty. A quiet center, a soft center, a place where sleep can settle. The rain continues over Philadelphia. It touches roof tiles. It touches shutters. It touches shop signs. It touches the library door. It touches the print shop awning. It touches the street where a young traveler once arrived. All the rain becomes one rain. All the years become one evening. All the rooms become one room. All the pages become one closed book, and the closed book rests beside the bed. You do not need to open it again. The story has done enough. You have listened enough. The body has softened enough. Enough is enough. Enough can be the final word for a while. Enough, enough, enough. Let even enough fade. No word, only rain. No lesson, only warmth. No biography, only rest. No need to follow Franklin any further. Let him rest in his quiet room. Let the printer rest. Let the inventor rest. Let the traveler rest. Let the old man rest. Let yourself rest. The candle lowers. The room darkens. The rain softens. The breath continues. Sleep may be very near now, or already arriving, or already here. There's no need to know. The knowing can sleep too. The rain is in no hurry, and neither is the fire. The fire has become mostly glow now, a red center under soft ash. It gives warmth without asking to be watched. Let the body be warmed in that same quiet way, not with brightness, only with steady comfort. The hands warm, the feet warm, the chest warm, the back warm, the whole body gently included. Perhaps the last candle in the room goes out, not suddenly. It leans, it softens, it becomes a small blue thread of smoke, then darkness. But the darkness is not empty. It holds the books. It holds the desk. It holds the chair. It holds the sleeping house. It holds the rain. It holds you. There is no better work for darkness than holding rest. Let it do its work. Let the night hold what you no longer need to hold. Let the rain speak where words are no longer needed. Let the closed book remain closed. Let the page remain blank. Let the body be heavy. Let sleep come without announcement. The rain is in no hurry. The fire is in no hurry. The old print shop is in no hurry. You do not need to hurry towards sleep. You can let it come line by line, drop by drop, breath by breath. The story can drift now through Franklin's life one more time, but only as soft images. Boston candle shop, a boy reading. Rain at shutters, Philadelphia street. Bread in hand, a young printer. Ink and paper. A room of friends. Questions by candlelight. A library shelf. Books waiting. A stove glowing. Warmth shared. A ship cabin. Rain on deck. A Paris garden. Letters tied with ribbon. An old room. Spectacles beside a candle. Each image appears. Each image fades. Nothing to hold. Nothing to memorize. Biography becomes atmosphere. Atmosphere becomes rain. Rain becomes rest. Now imagine Franklin's final quiet room. More fully, the chair by the fire. The closed drawer, the spectacles, the candle, the window with rain beyond it. The books around the room, some written by others, some printed by his own hands long ago, some never opened that evening. All safe, all resting. A long life can settle into a room. A long day can settle into a body. A busy mind can settle into sleep. The fire gives one small sound. The candle bends slightly. Rain continues. You do not need more story than this. An old room. A useful life growing quiet. A warm place to rest. Let the word useful soften. You do not need to be useful tonight. Let the word wise soften. You do not need to be wise tonight. Let the word finished soften. You do not need to be finished tonight. Only resting. Only warm. Only here. The story has given you shelves for thoughts, a drawer for memories, a stove for warmth, a candle for attention, a window for rain, and a bed for the body. Use only the bed now. Everything else can fade. The shelves fade. The drawer fades. The stove fades into warmth. The candle fades into darkness. The window fades into rain. The rain fades into sleep, far away. Morning waits beyond the wet roofs of Philadelphia. It is not here yet. It is not asking for you. When morning comes, the shop may open. The press may be uncovered. Letters may be arranged. Books may be borrowed. Questions may return. But all of that belongs to later. A rested time. A morning time. This time belongs to sleep. So let morning wait. Let the books rest. Let the type rest. Let the fire glow low. Let the rain fall. Let the story fade deeply, gently, comfortably. Good night.